Sheila Guzman. I work as a mental health therapist for Arlington County Child and Family Services Division at the Northern Virginia Juvenile Detention Center, which is located in Arlington, Virginia. I actually work with kids who are coming in. We have General Pop and we have a post-D program there, and kids who are coming in who have mental health issues, if they need to be connected to services when they are out, if they've been sentenced to commitment to the state, and prepping them for that. And also there's a 6-month post-dispositional program also located there, to which I am also the primary therapist for. And then I also serve as an outpatient therapist for those kids when they come out. So a lot of, if they're connected to the services in detention, they have the same therapist on the outside. If they get picked up, if they're on probation or something, their names get run. If they get arrested, they are brought immediately to the facility through intake. So they are brought over in shackles. Virginia, I think, and I'm not sure about the laws in DC, but Virginia still is one of the states that uses shackles on youth, both in court, coming out, even if it's for an adjudication hearing. So it's very, that when I first started working at this job was very, was hard for me to kind of digest. So they are transported securely, and they are coming into an intake process where they are asked to strip, they are asked to shower, and, piercings and things removed, very much like a typical adult jail. They're giving one phone call at intake and given a risk screening during that time, which, the risk assessment and stuff and all of this stuff is done by juvenile detention staff, and then they're processed in. So there was a kid one time that, he definitely had a lot of behavioral stuff, a lot of trauma, was struggling as well with LGBTQ issues and gender identity stuff, and came in around 15 years old. He had had a lot of issues here in DC, and then gotten a couple of charges when he actually just came across the bridge here to Pentagon City. And, we had him in our facility, and, he was definitely one of the kids who needed check-in every day for mental health issues, had a lot of PTSD, he had lost his mom. This young man, unfortunately, did pick up a lot of charges. I actually had advocated for him to go to get an evaluation at our state hospital and possibly be placed in a residential facility here, but, through the judge, through some of the judges' eyes, they saw a laundry list of stuff for him because, unfortunately, he was also very oppositional. He got into a lot of fights, and, and we see that a lot of unresolved trauma really exacerbated as opposition or conduct disorder. So in that sense, he did end up spending some time down at the Department of Juvenile Justice, which, are the state facilities for kids, and really struggled to adjust. Of course, they really didn't have a lot of separate housing for the LGBTQ stuff, so he was very much targeted. And his father visiting was virtually impossible because he didn't have a car. He had, issues with, he couldn't ambulate. He had a lot of medical issues. So I'm not even sure within the 3 years that he spent down there that he actually got a family visit. It does have somewhat of a happy ending. He did end up getting a GED down there and came back here to the city. But I'm not sure if he turned 18 or anything already, but it just shows how if there's a breakdown in communication with systems, these kids really get lost, and their family suffers for it, and they suffer for it as well. It's very interesting once a kid comes through the system, they have a treatment team of individuals. It's a social worker, it's a probation officer, an attorney, a guardian ad litem, but you don't see that beforehand unless the kid has already kind of had a identified issue. And I think that if you were able to have, say the teacher or a mentor in the community, or, maybe the kids linked up to therapy and those people are already having a conversation, there may be ways that they could prevent, kids from coming in. They only kind of get that support rally after the fact.